A Chelsea insider has just called Enzo Fernandez a liability, not a fan. Not an anonymous account. Someone who used to run a Premier League club from the inside, saying live on air that Chelsea want him gone before this season ends. This is the story of how one interview turned a vice-captain into a name Chelsea might actively be trying to get rid of. Keith Wyness spent years as chief executive at Everton, running the football side of a Premier League club from the boardroom rather than the touchline. He now runs a consultancy advising elite clubs on exactly these kinds of decisions for a living. And on the latest episode of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, he said Fernandez is heading toward the exit, calling him a potential liability for Xabi Alonso, and predicting he will not last the full season in West London. To understand why that word landed so hard, you have to go back to what Fernandez did to get here. In the 2026 World Cup semi-final against England, Fernandez scored the equaliser that sent Argentina through, then cupped his hands behind his ears and blew a kiss at the England fans. Chelsea's own social media team posted a photo celebrating his goal, captioned with nothing but his name and an explosion emoji. The backlash from their own supporters was so fierce, the club deleted it within the hour. One fan called it an absolute disgrace for an English club to have posted at all, and the anger was severe enough that people online were openly joking the staffer responsible would lose their job over it. He was not finished. That night, he posted a video of himself laughing while Wonderwall, England's unofficial anthem all summer, played over the top. 4 days later, in the 2026 World Cup final against Spain, Fernandez picked up a second yellow card in stoppage time, straight red. Argentina played the last stretch of extra time a man down. Spain won it in the 106th minute. Wyness did not stop at predicting a departure. He said Chelsea would not rush into what he called a fire sale, but that the club is now actively looking for a way to move Fernandez on, whether that happens this summer or in January. His reasoning was blunt. A player who riled up an entire fan base during a World Cup, then got sent off in the final, is not walking into Premier League stadiums this season to a warm reception. That, according to Wyness, makes him a harder player to build a team around, not an easier one. The numbers give that theory some weight. Fernandez picked up 14 yellow cards for Chelsea last season alone, one of the highest counts in the entire Premier League. A single red card in a World Cup final can be explained away as one bad night under extreme pressure. 14 yellow cards in a domestic season is not one bad night. It is a pattern of a player who plays permanently on the edge of control, which is exactly the kind of pattern that turns a talented midfielder into a genuine liability in a manager's eyes. Here is where it gets complicated. Wyness is not speaking for Chelsea. He is a consultant giving his read on the situation, not a club statement. And that distinction matters because publicly, the picture from inside Stamford Bridge has looked completely different. Xabi Alonso has said, on the record, that he wants to keep Fernandez. Not once, but repeatedly, even as the exit rumours piled up around him. If Chelsea's manager wants him, and a football insider is predicting the club wants him out, those two things cannot both be fully true. Perhaps Alonso's public support is exactly that, public. A manager protecting a player's value and his own dressing room, while private conversations move in a completely different direction. If you want the version of this story that actually sits with both sides instead of picking one, that is exactly why this channel exists. Subscribe to the World Cup Whistleblower, because figuring out who is telling the truth here matters more than either camp wants to admit. Or perhaps Wyness is reading a situation from the outside that simply is not there yet, filling a genuine information gap with an educated guess dressed up as certainty. What we do know is the market has not caught up with either version of the story. Real Madrid has continued to publicly deny any interest, and sources suggest the price tag, not a change of heart from Jose Mourinho, is the real reason that deal never happened. Mourinho reportedly wanted Fernandez as his first choice for a new deep-lying midfielder all summer, but Real ultimately extended Aurelian Tchouameni's contract instead of paying for him. Chelsea reportedly value Fernandez north of £110 million. No club has submitted an actual bid. Reports have floated Manchester City preparing an approach involving a Chelsea player, and separate claims that 2 unnamed clubs could still make him happy. But neither has been confirmed as being about him specifically. That is the strange part of this story. Everyone is talking about Enzo Fernandez leaving. Nobody is actually making a move to sign him. Chelsea's own supporters are just as divided as the reports about him. Some have had enough. One fan summed up the mood bluntly, saying Chelsea should sell him and calling him an average player at best. Another said the disruption he has caused the squad was the final straw, and that they no longer wanted to see him in a Chelsea shirt again. Others are not ready to give up on him, pointing out he is still one of the better midfielders in the league and deserves a chance to put the World Cup behind him, with one supporter writing that he still gets a great reception from them, regardless of what happened this summer. That split matters more than it might seem. A dressing room and a fan base that cannot agree on whether a player is worth keeping is exactly the kind of environment where an insider's prediction like Winus's can either die quietly or turn into the club's actual position within weeks. There is a pattern worth noticing here too. Fernandez has been through this exact cycle before. In March 2026, comments about wanting to live in Madrid earned him a 2-match suspension. He apologized to the club, his teammates, and the manager, and Chelsea moved on. After the 2024 Copa America, a video of him singing an offensive chant led to another apology, another internal disciplinary process, another round of forgiveness from the club. Even his temper has a history of nearly boiling over in public. After Chelsea lost the Carabao Cup final to Liverpool, a Liverpool fan taunted him on the walk up the Wembley steps, and Fernandez had to be pulled away by a teammate before it turned into something worse. Each time, the story quietly resolved itself and Fernandez stayed. Whether this becomes the time that pattern finally breaks, or another chapter in a relationship that always finds a way to patch itself back together, is not something Winus's prediction can settle on its own. He still has 6 years left on his contract. He is still training with the squad. He is still, as of right now, a Chelsea player. There is also the small matter of timing. Winus said this could happen this summer or in January, which is itself worth sitting with. If Chelsea genuinely saw Fernandez as a liability right now, the summer window is still open long enough to move fast. Waiting until January instead would mean playing him through a Premier League season as the exact target every hostile away crowd in England has been warned to aim for, all while reportedly trying to sell him at the same time. That is either a club being patient about getting the right price, or a club that has not actually made up its mind at all. So is Enzo Fernandez a player his own club has quietly decided to move on from? Or is this simply one outsider's read on a situation that Xabi Alonso himself has already denied?